We recording? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome everybody. It is so nice to see you all today. MashaAllah, I know that this might not be where you would prefer to be on a Wednesday evening up here on in front of a Zoom screen, but it is pretty exciting to know that there are $2,000 waiting for each of you, inshallah, through the Empower Grant offered through ICNA Relief. Empower is an acronym that stands for Educating Minds and Presenting Opportunities while Endowing Resources. And it's really my honor as the executive director of the Islamic Schools League of America to be able to join you all as a co-host to this wonderful gathering. And I'd like to take a moment to share just a little bit about the ISLA with you, because I know many of you may not know about ISLA. So I will first start with introducing myself. I am Shaza Khan. I am the executive director of this wonderful nonprofit organization called the Islamic Schools League of America, which is the co-host of this event. And we provide, I'm going to actually move back just a little bit here. We network full-time Islamic schools all across the United States and actually even beyond that. We estimate that there's approximately 300 full-time Islamic schools. I think we've got the names and specific details of 290 of them. There might be upwards of 400 full-time Islamic schools. And actually, this is part of the work that we do at the ISLA. We try and collect the most accurate data about full-time Islamic schools so that we can be a powerful organization to network us to one another and the wonderful educators who work in these schools. And so that we can share resources with you all and research that makes a difference in your classrooms and ultimately elevates the status of education in Islamic schools across the United States. And we welcome those of you who are joining that don't teach in full-time Islamic schools too today, because we've shared this with many people, and we'll get into the details of who's eligible for this grant in just a minute. So of the many things that we do at the ISLA, we do develop relationships with amazing organizations like ICNA Relief that is providing this grant opportunity, and other organizations that have wonderful resources that can benefit you and your students, inshallah. We host monthly administrator meetings for full-time Islamic school principals and superintendents and heads of schools. We also do professional development, and we try to have everything that we do be grounded in Islam and use the Islamic lens to really motivate and inform everything that we're doing. So we have some wonderful opportunities coming up this summer for you to engage in professional learning in communities. This is for those who are principals, vice principals, school leaders in like a department head. And we've got other courses on topics that many people teaching in Islamic schools have questions about and don't know how to understand them. So these are just some of the offerings that we have coming up in July, inshallah. But today I know that you're here to really learn about ICNA Relief and the Empower Grant. So I don't want to take too much more of your precious time. And I would like to pass the microphone over to Sister Sadia, who has done a lot to coordinate and provide this information for Islamic schools. And I'll be jumping in different places. Before I pass it over completely, I do want to take a minute to recognize and congratulate the 2023 winners of this grant. And we'll have a moment where we'll be able to highlight those educators as well. And you are absolutely eligible to apply again this year too. So welcome everybody. And we aim to conclude at the top of the hour, inshallah, so that you can get back to your evenings and all the precious other activities and priorities that you have in your life. Sister Sadia, thank you so much for being here to represent ICNA Relief and share more about this grant opportunity.
Welcome everyone. Thank you, Sister Shaza, for the kind words. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So this is the Empower Grant. We are starting again this year, inshallah. This is for educating minds and presenting opportunities while endowing resources through the ICNA Relief Back to School program. I'm gonna go next. At this session, we will share who is eligible, products and services teachers can use the grant on, deadlines for the grant, application details, high score and low score application, and tips from last year grant recipient. What is the EMPOWER Grant? EMPOWER Grant is a program that was established in 2020 by ICNA Relief's Back to School program. The program was created to provide teachers opportunities and tools to endow resources for classrooms. The EMPOWER Grant program offers grants of up to $2,000 per year to teachers for classroom enhancements. Classroom enhancement grants. These grants support teachers in implementing innovative projects or programs in their classrooms. They can be used to purchase materials, technologies, or resources that enhance the learning experience for students. Application dates. The application will open on June 20th, 2024, and the application will close on July 20th, 2024. These are dates that will not be modified. These are dates that will be standard. So please do mark these on your calendars at this time if you need to. Who is eligible? Teachers from elementary, middle school, weekend schools, teachers at any public or private schools will be considered. Therefore, high school teachers are not eligible. Homeschool teachers are not eligible. Must agree to and follow ICNA Relief terms of use to apply and receive funds. And then they should also must provide their legal name of the grant applicant. A W-9 and a social security card is required. A state-issued ID or driver's license. And when I say social security card, I don't mean on a piece of paper you're writing down a number. I mean the physical copy of the card. I need a picture of it to process your application. And then please note that this will be a 1099 taxable document.
So, and Sadia, do you mind if I jump in here and just say a few words? Because I know that sometimes this has been something that, maybe I myself would be like, oh, I'm not going to provide a copy of my Social Security card. So we want to assure you that the portal being used by ICNA Relief is a safe portal where all of these things are being kept in a secure way. I think I'm losing the exact terminology that's used in these kinds of instances, but it is a secure portal. And these are requirements from ICNA Relief, which is a large organization and has its own internal requirements and controls for any kind of financial transactions. And so these are the requirements from their financial department and professionals. If this is something that you are uncomfortable with providing, then we just have to say, then I guess then this might not be something that you would be able to participate in, because these are the requirements for this grant application, and they will all be transferred. All of these things are required for transference through the secure portal. We will take questions at the end of the presentation, but I did want to jump in. I'll jump in a few other places here where Sadia and I have discussed some of the things that often become a point of concern or questions for our participants.
Thank you, Sister Shaza. Unlike Sister Shaza just mentioned, the platform you guys are uploading these documents, they are verified, they are secured sites, and we're not circulating it across ICNA Relief's platform. It is going to a portal, and it's going to be viewed by our panelists only when they are reviewing your application. They're not being downloaded and uploaded to personal devices or anything like that. They are in a very secured location. My slide deck stopped. Okay. This is the W-9 form. I wanted to review this with you guys because last year we had a couple of issues with this form. We do require this form to be filled out to process your grant. And then the columns that are highlighted, number 1, it needs your name. Number 3A, you would select the individual sole proprietor box, because these are going to be personal W-9s. And then number 5 and 6, your home address where the check would be mailed out to. And then your social security number would be inputted onto part 1 of taxpayer identification number. And then at the bottom, this part's the missed mostly on these applications. This the certification part where it says sign here. I need your signature and I need the date. This was a common missed part on the application last year. Anything to add, Sister Shaza?
No, I think that's good. Yeah.
Okay. And now let's get into the application part. Please note the number of classroom grant awarded will depend on the total number of applications. Grants are available of up to $2,000 pending availability and demand. We anticipate that we can award 50 recipients. We are looking for the top best completed by the deadline applications that will be rewarded the Empower Grant. The application evaluation criteria. Each application will be evaluated by a panel of experts and given a value of out of 30 points. Application will be evaluated based on the following. Impact of meaningful instructions on students inside and outside of the classroom. Funds will be used to develop an impactful for point 1, we have 30 points. 5 points would be for impact of meaningful instructions on students inside and outside of the classroom. 5 points will be funds will be used to develop an impactful and innovative experience for students. 10 points is your letter of recommendation from classrooms. Another 10 points is a YouTube video, 30 seconds to 120 seconds. And then for more information, you could go on to our Empower Grant website at icnarelief.org /back-to-school/grants. This is the letter of recommendation portion. These are 10 points. I will hand it off to Sister Shaza.
Okay. So one of the requirements in your application, as Sister Sadia has mentioned, is that you must have a letter of recommendation. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about that letter of recommendation. This is something that a school administrator needs to write for the applicant. The school administrator can be considered a superintendent, head of school, principal, team lead, or board member. It's not a colleague, right? So that's the important thing for you to be able to kind of differentiate between who is the person that can write it, somebody who's you're reporting to, who you've reported to. And we should stay, and we know that in a lot of Islamic schools, there's close relationships actually. And so the person writing the letter of recommendation should not be like your spouse or somebody related to you. We want to maintain the integrity of this grant, inshallah. So we want to adhere to these highest standards. What should be in the letter? Well, the letter of recommendation should highlight why should this money go to this recipient? What does this administrator who's writing the letter know about the recipient? What makes this recipient, this teacher, unique? What makes them a value to their school and to their classroom? And if you can, something that would be really beneficial is if you, as the applicant, let your administrator who's going to write this letter, let them know what you plan to write this grant for, what kinds of materials you plan to write it for, so they can also talk about the way in which they believe you would use any kind of this grant money to enhance the learning outcomes and the learning experience for the students. Also, of course, as any letter should have, there should be a proper signature, like the printed name of the person who's written the letter, as well as their title, right? So is it the head of school? Are they the academic dean? What's their title? So it should be a properly formatted letter. And for the applicant, I want to suggest that you let your administrator know ahead of time, maybe even today. You send them a message and an email saying, I'm planning to apply for this ICNA Relief EMPOWER Grant. It's opening up June 20th, and I would like to request that you write my letter of recommendation. I wanted to give you enough time to do it. So please keep this in mind and then give them a specific date, a reasonable date by which you want this letter to be submitted. Don't feel shy to give them that date. So you can request that they provide you with that letter by June 25th. If you're asking them right now, that's 20 days. That's very, very reasonable. Ask for it to be emailed to you as a PDF. And one other thing I wanted to suggest, it's something that I've always found really helpful when when people have asked me to write a letter of recommendation, whether it's students or colleagues, is give bullet pointed tips, like insights into what you want the person to write for you. So think about what makes you an outstanding teacher. You can even include like suggested paragraphs and language, and give them the ability, say, I've included some suggested language you could use or these bullet points. Feel free to modify it as you need, and then ask them to send it to you as a PDF so that you can upload it to your application. Those are the tips I wanted to give.
Okay. Application general information needed. So these are sections of the application we're going through with you. We will have another session where we will be going through the application hands-on. But the part one of the application is general information, which has the contact information, the school information, the grant summary, grant request summary, the video. It has to be a minimum of 30 seconds, and the video has to be on YouTube, and files uploaded. We have a speaker with us today, Lydia Salama. I will see if she is. I don't see her on the group. Give me 1 second.
I'll take this moment to just answer this question here. So somebody said, if you're the head of school and a teacher, who can write the letter of recommendation? That's a good question. I think we've had this come up before. I would think that a board member could write the letter of recommendation. If you have a principal or an academic dean who is like observed your class in some capacity, they might also be eligible. Sadia, do you have any insights into that? I know that we had a principal last year receive it. I think, yeah, so I think, Zainab, that you might want to ask for a board member in that instance, and I'll let Sister Zubi, if she has any insights, chime in.
Like, I agree. A board member will be highly recommendable. Like, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, and mashallah, we've got a global audience here. So somebody's asking, are American schools in Africa, or I'll expand that, in other countries also eligible? Sister Zubi?
Unfortunately, it's not. It's only for the United States. ICNA Relief only serves within the 50 states in America. Unfortunately, we can't.
Okay. All right. So, and then the 30-second video for the application is done by you as a teacher. So you're going to create a video, 30-second to 120 seconds of, what you plan to spend the money on and why, how you plan to use it, inshallah. We'll give you some examples. Inshallah, plan to join us on June 20th as well, because we're actually going to go in depth even more with that. With the application process. So Sister Sadia, if is the sister not here right now? It's okay, we can probably go on.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
You're sharing, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Reinhardt.
Yeah, my name is Rehad. I'm joining you from Senegal.
MashaAllah. Welcome.
Yeah, I inquired what schools in Africa, American schools are eligible, and I received your answer. But I would be gladly if we could be considered. We're part of the Muslim community, and we'd be glad if we could be considered as well.
100%. You're part of the Muslim community, a huge asset. I think
Yeah.
this is a restriction, my dear brother, in terms of the domain of work that ICNA Relief is allowed to do and the
Yeah.
space in which they're able to do it. But brother, we won't forget you, inshallah. If there's any opportunities that extend beyond the United States, we would love for you to be participating in that, inshallah.
Inshallah.
May
Inshallah.
Allah put
Inshallah.
barakah in your efforts, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Okay. So Sister Sadia, yes.
Okay, so last year, this is just an overview of like application low scores that we saw and some points to go over. Clarity and feasibility, when you're doing the grant summary, we want to see clear goals, activities, outcomes, realistic timelines, and budgets. And then because the things that we're noticing is that we can't like the panelists can't come and talk to you if you just say that I need $2,000, because that's not telling us what you're looking for. Completeness, like include all required documents. If you're missing the letter of recommendation, that's 10 points missing out of the 30 points. You're already like 67% of the application. So your score is already low. So try to be on top of it. Like take this time today to email your administration team to start your letter of recommendation at this time. And then impact and innovations. Demonstrate significant impact and innovative approaches to improve learning. Again, like people like last year were writing just a sentence or two of what they want. They want $2,000, but that's not telling me or the panelists like how the funds will be used. Anything to add, Sister Shazza?
I think just reiterating that, you want to approach this in a little bit of a competitive manner. So the more that you're going to explain, the more complete your answers are, the more detailed your answers are, the higher your application score will be, inshallah, and the more likely that you'll get the grant. We don't want to make this a burden for you. Really, I think the reason, the spirit from which this Empower Grant has come is out of a deep appreciation for all of our educators. And we want this to be something that genuinely empowers you, inshallah, to do more enriching activity, engaging activity in your classrooms. However, we do need a solid application, inshallah. So put in that effort and inshallah, the result will be a winning application.
Like we mentioned before, the Empower Grant is designed to give inshallah 50 applicants this grant. So we to make this application great, we want to see to make the application engaging and impressive. Tell a captivating story, and have a clear structure. Organize your thoughts and make it easy to follow. And then also stand out and be unique. Innovative ideas, present creative solutions. I know one of the sisters used the grant funds to buy a smart board for her classroom, and she explained why she needed it, and then ICNA Relief did give her the grant funds to get the smart board for her classroom. And it has changed and made her teaching skills, or made it very nice for her, helped her out. A personal touch to
Sorry, Sharia, I muted you by mistake. I'm so sorry. We missed what you said about after a personal touch. I just need you to unmute there. Sorry.
No, you're good. We're just looking for a personal touch of why you need the funds, how you're gonna use it, what's the problem, how are you planning on solving this problem, how are these funds about to help you, and how is this gonna impact you, your students, your classroom, your your commitment to help these kids. And then add unique value, highlight what sets you apart from other teachers. This is a grant, so it needs to be a little competitive. And then inshallah, like, I hope, yeah. And then Sushaza?
Yeah, mashallah, we wanted to give a shout out to the 2023 Empower Grant winners. We did highlight them on our website. So I just wanted to pull that up, mashallah, and also thank our winners who, I don't have it up yet, hold on just a second. Thank our winners who also completed the reporting. So inshallah, once you receive the award, and it might feel like we're kind of jumping ahead, but just so you know the full scale of everything here, inshallah, all of you who apply will receive the grant. And once you've applied and received the grant, you will be asked to keep track of certain things like receipts and other aspects, as well as to submit a report, inshallah. So these are the winners from the 2023 Empower Grant, mashallah. You can see that there are all kinds of schools listed here, mashallah. There are multiple winners from specific schools. The award doesn't have a quota per state or anything like that. So, you know, don't feel competitive within your own school. Share the information about this with other elementary and middle school teachers. And we just wanted to say, you know, that they've done an amazing job, and we've received reporting from many of them. And the results are just so exciting that, you know, people are having, somebody was able to purchase a smart board, and they even shared that with other teachers in their communities. So that was really exciting, mashallah. And not in their community, but with other teachers in their school. So inshallah, this is something that has a lot of potential for enriching your school. The $2,000 can inshallah go a long way. And in our grant writing workshop on the 20th, inshallah, we will brainstorm together different ideas, unique, innovative ideas for how you can use the funds. I don't know if Sister Sadia is going to be speaking a little bit more about that too and sharing that, but if not, then we can spend some time when we're at that done with this presentation and talk about that.
We're almost done.
All right.
Yes. And then
This is the shout out I wanted to do for the winners from last year who also submitted their grant reporting. And inshallah, we'll be using their reports to communicate with the public about the wonderful things that they've done. And inshallah, seek more support from donors who've made this grant possible, and be able to provide, you know, more grants, inshallah, in 2025 and beyond. So thank you to all of you who did complete this.
the FAQs, can teachers purchase the supplies before the grant is awarded? No, the teachers cannot purchase the supplies before the grant is awarded. As ICNA Relief, we are not responsible, or there's a process for the grant to go through and review, and then the checks to be issued. So if you purchase it before, you cannot rely on us to either make sure the payment goes through and stuff. Will the school reimburse the teacher? No, the school will not reimburse the teachers for the funds. Can the school keep the award check, partial funds, or supplies? No, the teachers will be awarded, and they are legal owner of the supplies. And high school teachers or homeschool teachers are not eligible for this grant. And that's the end.
All right, so that's the end of the presentation. We have some funny comments here in the chat that I'm taking a look at and trying to respond to. So somebody said, can 8 people drop off this call and then the rest of us 50 will be good? Shaheen, you're funny. Inshallah, we hope that many more people than 50 will apply. And somebody was asking about past applicants, and we don't have the exact number because some of the applications are incomplete and they don't have the complete all of the requirements. So we do want to really emphasize, Sister Sadia, if you can go back to that slide or at least drop in the chat the specific dates that people need to keep in mind. When does the grant application close? So it opens June 20th. And if you don't have all of your materials in by that last date, then your grant application will be ineligible. And that's why we really want the things that are out of your control, like the letter of recommendation, for you to kind of start working on that right now. That's why we're telling you right now to, like, you know, start thinking about this, start looking up what are the materials that you want to purchase. And I want to give another tip as somebody who's written just a few small grants, is like, always ask for the maximum amount. Don't be shy. You know, think about all of the different ways that you can enrich your classroom, inshallah. And we don't have examples of the application on the website, but Sister Shaheen, we will look at an application in more depth, inshallah, on the workshop. You do need to use the whole amount by a specific date, yes, before the end of the academic year, and the date to use it by might even be by the reporting period, which would be December of 2024. So inshallah, the plan is that the grant application closes by July 20th. The applications are reviewed, and the announcements, when are those made, Sister Sadia? Beginning of September, is that safe to say?
The announcement will be made mid-August to mid-August.
Okay,
Yes.
mid-August to September, let's say. And inshallah, your checks will be received, inshallah, you know, the following month or 90 days
October,
within
yes.
that. And then, what's that, Sadia? Go ahead.
The checks should be mailed out by within like end of October will be the last round. If
Okay.
there are any delays, if any occur.
Yeah, so as a buffer, we're saying end of October. So you want to be ready to purchase those materials. So I think this is an important conversation, actually, because sometimes people have written an application for all the materials that they want from the beginning of their academic year. And it's just not possible for ICNA Relief to go through all of the validation process and dispense all of those checks by the start of your school year every time. So plan to have these materials be something that come in the beginning of your first semester, inshallah. And you also need to use up all those funds before the end of that reporting period when you have to submit the report. And we asked for that this year, this past cycle, by December 2023, end of December. So yes, we will email the recording and the slides. Yes, go ahead, Sister Amina.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm just putting this together. Can you repeat that, what you just said, please? Plan to have all the materials. You were talking about the timeline?
So the reporting period, I'm not, Sadia, when will we be requesting the reports? Do we have that date set? Inshallah, once we have that set, we'll let you know. In 2023, it was the end of December that we requested the reports be sent out from the grant awardees. So inshallah, we will communicate officially when that is. I'm just referring back to last year's date, was the end of December. So you have a brief period to spend $2,000.
And then it has to be, those funds have to be spent before the end of the school year?
Well, the funds should be spent before the reporting period deadline. So if that, let's say that the reporting deadline will be December 31st, 2024. I have to confirm that. We'll send that out in an email. But if that was the reporting deadline, December 31st, 2024, then you would have to spend all of your funds after you receive the check and before that reporting deadline, because the report includes you uploading the receipts.
Can I have a question, please?
Understood, thank you.
Thank you, Sister Amina. Is this Sister Amina the author?
No, not yet.
Oh, inshallah. I like that answer. MashaAllah. Okay.
I have a just question. Maybe it's not clear to me.
Yes,
Like you say, if you qualify, you will receive the check by middle or end of the September. But if you need the supply, if you know that you qualify, can you purchase the things and then reimburse that money once you get the check, or you just plan it? Okay, once you get the receive the check, and then you will purchase.
yeah. You have to plan
Any-
it, Sister
Okay,
Sadia.
anything you buy before receive the check, you cannot get it.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Inshallah. I know. And I know that, as teachers, you're buying a lot of things over the summer. It's just the cycle of the funding for this grant that
And
it's set up like that.
I have one more question. I'm a Montessori teacher and I teach kindergarten too.
Mm.
Any supplies which enrich the education and the program is also qualified. Like if you need a
So-
computer or you need a certain material that you use for teaching.
So, Sister Sadia, can I just, in relation to you identifying yourself as a Montessori teacher and kindergarten teacher, for this application, you want to focus on your role as a kindergarten teacher because it's not eligible for Montessori teachers.
Okay.
Everything you write about in your application should be related to how you teach kindergarten. Will
Okay.
you use it in your Montessori classroom? Maybe. You don't need to tell us that, and that's not going to be part of your grant application or reporting.
Yeah, anything I really right now needed for my kindergarten student.
Yeah,
basically.
perfect. So that's what you will apply for and write about.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
I saw somebody else with a hand raised. Yes, Sister Amina?
Thank you. My question is, we were talking about filling out the W-9. Can the check be sent to the school? Is that possible?
It can be determined on a case-by-case basis. It's preferred that it be sent to the individual.
Okay.
And the reason is it gives you a lot more autonomy.
Mhm,
Anything you
true.
purchase with that becomes your property versus the school. I mean, it's up to you to be
Oh,
generous and
I
give
see.
it back. But we have had instances where I know for myself where I had a principal say, oh, the person who received this is no longer working at the school. Is the laptop that they purchased with their funds. The schools are theirs.
Right.
And they wanted it to be for the school, but the answer is that the check was given to that individual teacher, and then that becomes their property that they
I see.
purchased.
That's exactly what I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. So the items, so Munir, again, you said, so are the items purchased the schools or the individuals, right? So if they are, if you write the application for yourself and you fill out the W-9 for yourself and you receive the check in your name, then they are your items. And then if you donate the items, can that be a tax deduction? That's up to you. I mean, that's a little bit more complicated. I would imagine you could, because this check was given to you, you purchased it, and then you donate it. I'm not a tax expert, so I'm not going to go on. This is recorded, but I'm putting that caveat.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam, Munir.
Yeah, and that's fine. I was more so trying to give people ideas with them being kind of concerned about it being taxable in that sense. So that was all that was.
That's a good point, Munir. Yeah.
But I do, so the thought process of how this is structured, you all give out the money essentially in the first semester. You all want us to potentially buy the items and products for the first semester by the end of the first semester, because you're talking about, and this is loosely because I mean, I know schools start at different time frames, but then essentially the only time that you're going to really be able to utilize the products or whatever you're purchasing is going to be in the second semester. So we're supposed to kind of plan on a whim that we're going to get these things. I'm an OCD person, so I try to plan out for the whole year. So I'm sitting here potentially saying, oh, I'm gonna have this product or I'm gonna have this piece of equipment or whatever for a second semester, and then mashallah says, oh, unfortunately we weren't able to get, so now I have to readjust my whole thought process.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out why. I heard it was because you all need the receipts, but what if it was just getting quotes and you get the quote to you? It's just a big ask to try to do it so fast, not knowing if you're going to receive it, I guess.
Can I ask Sister Zubi to chime in, who's requested to remain silent? But I just, I think we understand the kind of position that the brother is explaining. And so I just would like you to share.
Sure. Assalamualaikum. Thank you for these amazing questions, and we tend to see these questions coming up every year. So, so first of all, it depends on the volume of application that we receive, right? Let's say we receive 50 application, our panelists should be able to review it quickly. So first step, we do not review application while it's open. So after it's closed, that's when the panelists will start reviewing it. So again, we're a nonprofit. We don't have that kind of like, manpower to have many people reviewing it. So we have a very small panelist. For them to review, let's say 100, 200, 300 application, it will take some time. We try our best for our panelists to, inshallah, go over the application. That's the first step. Once top 50 has been identified, we make this announcement by mid-August. I believe it's around August 13 that it will be announced, but inshallah, all of you will be notified. It will be on our social media and, wherever you get information about ICNA Relief. Once that is identified, our finance department is aware of, there will be 50 checks that they have to process, but we have to make sure the smoother the application is, all the documents are in and it's reviewed on time and is verified by the finance department. Inshallah, my goal, I'll be pushing that the check should start printing by first week of September. If we're saying that you should receive the check by October, that's the worst case scenario. That's the worst case scenario. So I'm assuming, let's say you receive your check by second week of September. That's give you enough time. I understand, we all are planners. We want to have this fun. But again, it's a grant and there's only 50 that will be awarded. That's why we ask you guys to pour your heart into it and show your enthusiasm, show how you can, what change this brings to your classroom and how, what kind of a teacher you are, your classroom, your teacher, your kids, your students, and that's how it takes you above, others. Of course, making sure that you submit everything. And hopefully, we're praying that inshallah everything will be done on time. I will make sure that I supervise that, especially the check shipment, once those are mailed out, and we'll give you a few months before we want all the documentation to come in. So the date for the submission, it's again, this grant, we have to think on a different level that, the year ends in 2024. So fiscal year for us, we want to make sure that this is done in 2024. The reporting, we are extended to later December. So during winter break, I understand we don't want you guys to do all the work and submitting all that during your, the session when you guys are in school, but that's why it is pushed to end of December. So you have time to submit everything, inshallah. That's the timeline. I hope I've answered your questions.
That was great. I appreciate it. Shukran.
Although I know the OCD element wasn't satisfied there. There was a lot of, in the best case scenario. So inshallah, but I think that this is just the reality of it all. So inshallah, you receive it earlier. The application will be available June 20th, inshallah. That is the same day that we are hosting our grant writing workshop. And I will, in just a couple minutes, share with you the link to sign up for that grant writing workshop. What I want to find is there was a recording that we shared last year for the sister who had done a phenomenal job with her YouTube video. So while I'm looking for that, anyone else have any questions here?
Somebody asked a question in the chat. I'm gonna just push it up because I kind of sit in a similar role. They're a teacher, a lead teacher, and a coordinator, and they were asking if they could put in an application that helps multiple classrooms or classes than just their specific one. Is that something that's allowed?
Yeah, it is allowed, but again, this is, if the teacher's applying for this grant, a 1099 will be issued to that teacher. So if she's helping out other teachers, that's great. But we do recommend that teachers apply themselves to use the funds for their classrooms. You could work together, but again, this is the taxable amount on their grant.
I have a question. As you mentioned, this is a taxable amount. So when we apply our own personal tax, so we will add this amount as our income, which we are using. That's why you say anything you buy, if you also own it, not the school is on it. Second thing, what's the max and what's the minimum amount we can do? If you qualified, you will get 2,000, or it can be a 200 and 1,000 too.
On the application, there is a section where you are requested to ask what your need is. So in there the max amount you could include is 2,000. Like Sister Shaza said, do go for the max. But you could write any amount that you think you need.
May I interject?
Mhm.
So, great question. Thank you so much. If you are doing so much work in, gathering all the requirements that is needed, you're providing your social security card, picture of that, you are collecting that letter of recommendation. You've done so much work. Please do not set yourself low. Ask for the maximum. ICNA Relief is willing to give you $2,000. Just let's say, for example, you are trying to get funds to purchase reading material or furniture, for example, right? If you're about to order a bookshelf, let's say $300, why not get books as well, right? You will have that bookshelf. You have someone who is willing to give you funding, and you're doing the same amount of work. That's how I see it from my end, but everybody is welcome to ask whatever they feel like would be beneficial for their classroom.
One more question. When you request and you write your application, you're telling that, okay, you're buying this thing. Do you have to write the price of those things also, or you say just the estimate? Like, for example, if I say, okay, I need 2 tables, I need 1 computer, I need movable alphabets. They are quite expensive item. Do I have to write exact amount?
You can round it up, but we do want to know a ballpark of what you're purchasing. Like a bookshelf can be a $3,000 bookshelf or a $150 or something from IKEA, right? So a ballpark will really be useful. But we're looking, we do want, the numbers.
Like estimate, okay, I'm buying a computer for the classroom so children can do some online programs to help for appearing the test. And if you want to subscribe that program for the whole year, so you write down the amount of that program, you write down the amount of computer you are buying, and then you are buying the books or material, like a shelf or some educational material. So you give a round amount, not exactly, but at least near to that amount.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Yes, Brother Reda? Or
Yes,
yes.
I'm
Sister
Sister
Reda.
Reda. Yes, sorry.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's okay. If I'm the head of the department, can I put what my teachers need, or it has to be for me only?
Write the application for this classes that you teach and for the materials you need in
Yes.
your classroom. If you want to share it, that's
Okay.
okay. That'll be up to you.
But I don't have to mention it in the application, right? Or it's okay if I share it, if I need like a smart board for one of my teachers, or it has to be for me only?
Zubiya, please.
Sure.
I'm sorry?
So much, sister. You can go ahead and apply yourself, and I would say encourage your teachers, whoever needs these resources, to apply as well. There is no harm in applying, right? The more
Okay.
the merrier. Maybe you can
Okay.
get
I see.
4 grand in for your
Okay.
school, inshallah.
Okay. Other question, please. Like, my friend, she sent me the email that she received it. So I don't think that my email is listed in your system. Can I give my email in order to receive all this information and application?
Yeah. And since you registered for this, inshallah, we have your email address
Yes.
and we'll send it. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
I see Amina, Sister Amina, if you don't mind, can I let Maha speak since she hasn't spoken yet? And then I'll come back to you.
Problem.
Thank you, Sister Maha, and then Amina.
Assalamualaikum. I wanted to ask if items such as like playgrounds or like computer systems or like maybe a copier system is something that the teachers or admin could ask for, since it's used not in a specific classroom, but in a multi-use area.
Zubi.
Okay, let's break this down. So let's say you're a gym teacher and you take your student outside, and for their safety, you need, fencing around your school. Yes, it's covered. But if you are looking for a printer for, the admin office, unfortunately, that will not be covered.
So the focus here is on enriching the classroom experience for your students. I think that's like, if you can just really use that as an organizing thought for what you're thinking of. And I love it. This is awesome. This is why we're here, right? I love that we're not, shy to ask about these different things. We know that the printer system is super duper needed, and it's so annoying that it keeps jamming and all of that. But the focus of this grant, just like any grant, has like the constraints and the parameters around it, is to enrich the classroom experience for the students and to empower the teachers to do that through these materials. The materials can be physical materials, they can be textbooks, they can be equipment, they can be software, they can be a program like a subscription to Muslim Kids TV was something that we talked about last year, right? For your classroom, because you teach Islamic studies or Arabic or Quran or something, right? Those are all eligible. And in your grant application, you're going to talk about how this is going to empower you to do a better job of enriching and educating the minds and presenting opportunities while endowing resources for your students and classrooms.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Maha. Yes, Amina?
Assalamualaikum. I have a question here. Now, I know we're talking about this, but I want to be clear because I'm working with my team. So I help run the science club department. Can I request, I know I'll break everything down and I'll write everything out. I did receive a grant last year from Union Station Science Club, fair organization. Can I request to have, I know the money will come to me, but can I show the breakdown, like I want to apply $1,000 to the science program, middle school. And then also I want to use the other 1,000 towards science club, because we have a lot of lower income students. And my goal is to get more of these underprivileged students into club. Parents are hardworking, they can't always come up with extra because it's Islamic school, so they're paying tuition already. So my goal would be to have a certain amount of funds set for their projects, because projects take money. So would that be possible?
Is the question because it's not for a in school time classroom? Is that your concern? Is that why?
They are sometimes in school classroom time, like we integrate the projects into the projects for the quarter, so I can do that. But club is after school. So I'm asking, like, could I have $1,000 applied to classroom materials, things that I need, and then the other applied for science club for under, served students, so they can actually be a part of the club.
Okay. I don't know the answer to that.
The answer would be yes, inshallah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Jazakallah. Okay. Because when I get ready to write it, I know I have to be very clear. So I just want to make sure, because I'm going to be working with the vice principal and the principal and the admin, and I have to, talk about what I learned at the meeting and all of those things. So
I understand. We really appreciate it if you could just mention that in your application, inshallah.
Jazakallah, thank you.
If you have the ability to stay on for another 10 minutes, we're gonna, Sister Sadia has the application, and do you have the video ready too, Sadia?
I do.
Okay, all right, so go ahead and share that.
Do you
And
want to start off with the video first and then jump into the
yeah,
application?
let's do that. Yeah, somebody had asked about what should be focused on in the video. So Sadia, you have the link to that. I'll let you share.
Mhm.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yulia Salama, and I
Can you hear?
Yes, we
applied
can.
for the EMPOWER Grant to support my classroom. I teach preschool through 7th grade social emotional learning. My project consists of 2 parts: indoor education that focuses on developing emotional intelligence, and outdoor education through gardening. Studies have shown that individuals with a higher EQ build stronger relationships, succeed at school and work, achieve professional and personal goals. My students learn emotional intelligence from an early age. Processed foods are suggested to be a contributor to the obesity epidemic and rising prevalence of chronic diseases. Studies prove that grit, impulse control, and delayed gratification in childhood are the most important variables that explain success and achievement levels in adulthood. Gardening develops senses and practical life skills, social responsibility, love and connection with nature, and encourages healthy habits. It builds grit, delayed gratification, and impulse control. Gardening lessons reinforce and provide hands-on experience and practical implementation of lessons learned in mathematics, science, and other subjects. Our current resources don't support the needs of close to 100 students. I plan to use the awarded EMPOWER Grant funds to add a comfortable rug for a group learning area, shelves for organized storage, comfortable seating for individual learning, self-regulation, and vestibular input, and various calming materials that support diverse natural tendencies. I intend to add an outdoor shed for safe, orderly, and efficient storage, shelves with growing lights, and tools to work in the garden. This grant money, if awarded to me, will enhance learning and impact students beyond just my classroom and outdoor garden. With the help of this grant, my social emotional learning teachings will advance to other classrooms, schools, student households, and communities. Thank you.
All right, mashallah, that's really nice. Sadia, thank you for sharing that. And we'll include the link to that in our follow-up. Give us until Monday, inshallah, to send this email with this recording and follow-up. And Sadia is going to conclude by just sharing. Sadia, did you have the application portal as well, or is that for next time?
I don't have the portal, but I
Okay.
have just the application structure to share with you at this time.
Great.
Should I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so let me slideshow. Okay, so we have the first section is the contact information. It goes with the teacher's first name, last name, teacher's address. This address is where the check will be mailed out to. Teacher's phone number, teacher's email address, and teacher's grade level that they teach. Again, like Sister Shazza mentioned, if you teach pre-K, but you also teach other grades as well, include that other grade because pre-K is not eligible for this grant. School information, school name, school district name, school's principal, school's website, and school's phone number. This was Ilya's application. As you can see, she did get the grant. She was very detailed. I will zoom in a little bit. I don't want to read this. She said that she teaches preschool through 7th grade in her write-up, but on top she did mention what grades she did teach. She didn't mention preschool. And then she went in great detail of what her project consisted of, how she will use those funds. And then she also mentioned the resources needed, why they're needed, how this will affect the kids, how this will affect her, and how like it's a long-term process. It's not just like for this year. Again, that's also another thing to mention. Food isn't eligible for this grant. If you want to buy snacks for your students, that's not something that we like the panelists will approve of, because we want this to be something that will be reusable over and over again, not just for one session or something. Field trips and those are eligible because they're experiences. They're something that you could use those to enhance education, but not something like to eat or something along those lines. I'm sorry, let me go back here real quick. So The grant has ethnicity, gender, executive summary, describe the problem or community need that the educator addresses, current classroom objectives, project timeline, requested amount. This is where you would enter that amount. Again, like everyone, like you're putting so much work and effort into this, go for the $2,000. And then detailed project budget. And then this is the YouTube video portion. Again, it has to be a YouTube video. Start early, and if you have any troubles and such, then you will have time to figure it out. And
I
then
just
the
want to say
last,
that somebody stated that like using TikTok or something like that helps to make the YouTube video. I've never used TikTok, but maybe many of us haven't, but it might be an opportunity for us to tap into some of that technology and use it. And also somebody's asked a couple times here, or a couple people have asked in the chat about listing. How do you list that YouTube video? Feel free to list it as, you don't have to have it like as a public video. It can be private such that only those who have access, who have the link, can access it, inshallah. And also you don't have to be in the video, like showing your face. You saw that sister didn't show her face. So she was, you know, sharing a screen and maybe recorded using Zoom and then uploaded that MP4 file up onto YouTube. I'm just guessing how she might have done that.
yes. And then over here we do, there's another section down here at the last part. These are the file uploads. It's your resume, it's the letter of recommendation. It is your social security card and a personal W-9 form. So these four are the documents that we need, and that is the end of the application.
Okay. So yes, Amina, what's the question here?
Question is, where is this link?
It will open on June 20th, Sister
Oh, it
Amina.
opens on
Yeah.
June 20th. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I put in the chat, I'm not sure, and I don't want to be too pushy. I'm just asking. I think I have my social security card, but if you don't, can passport, American passport, US passport be in lieu of that? Because usually by point system, but
Unfortunately, no.
no, okay. I think I have it. I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, we have this meeting right now. So if I don't, you know, the government's typically slow, but you might want to ask for a copy of that Social Security card if that's something you can do through the Social Security Administration office.
I do believe I have it. I'm just asking. So the email will come the 20th or with the link to upload those informations, or
Yeah, we'll remind you. Inshallah, we have a grant writing workshop on June 20th, on the same day that it opens up. So what we are
perfect.
hoping to do is actually say, hey, everybody, come online. Now, first thing you need to do is go to this webpage. Now you need to create your account login. All right, we're gonna give you a couple minutes to do that. Who's
Oh,
got
so
that
it's kind
done?
of it's like a help for it. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, no, we want y'all to apply and put in
We
a really
want the
good
money. We do.
Yeah, we
want
want
the
you to
money.
have the money, inshallah. So
Inshallah.
we're doing whatever we can to help you have successful, complete applications that are in the competition to win, inshallah.
Great. Jazakallah to everybody. Thank you so much.
Is your resume your general work experience or just teaching? It
Say
should
again?
be relevant. No, sorry, somebody put it in the chat. It should be relevant to what you're applying for. So you probably had an application or resume that you submitted when you taught. Maybe you didn't. But create something that is relevant. It's a professional resume, inshallah. And if you don't already have one, this will be a great opportunity to create one. Okay. Any other questions, sister? Who should be the contact person if anybody has questions in the interim? I don't know if you want to be, I know not everybody here is going to be available through the duration. Isla will be sending you emails to follow up about with the resources, with this recording and the resources, inshallah. And we'll include the link to the next workshop on June 20th, which is the same day that this opens up.
I have one last question. When you ask your principal to write a recommendation letter, you definitely tell your principal what you are looking to buy. Your principal letter will be directly mailed to you, or she gave it to me and I will put put together, everything.
She
put
has
together.
to, yeah, because it's part of your application, you're going to ask her to email back, or him to email back the letter of recommendation to you as a PDF, I would recommend.
Mhm.
And then you will be uploading it to the application portal.
Okay.
And somebody asked in a private message, like, I think coursework or PD would be for your own professional growth, so that would not be eligible. It's for classroom materials and experiences.
I don't get it. Another thing, do you have to give all the details, the price and everything to your principal? So she better understand and then write a letter, or you just tell that you are looking for that grant to buy stuff for the classroom?
Yes,
And
it's better the more information you can provide to your principal or the administrator who's going to provide you the letter of recommendation, the better their letter will be. I do want to let principals who are joining know that they shouldn't copy and paste the letter of recommendation and create a generic one. You want your letter of recommendation to be personalized to the applicant. So yeah,
okay.
you don't have to have exact.
Assalamualaikum. I have a question.
Mhm. Go ahead. Mona.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, you know
Walaikum
how you
salam.
said the application is gonna start on June 20th. So, when we submit the application and then everything else that we need to submit, so do we have to put everything together, or we can do one at a time? Let's say I can submit my application, then I would submit the letter of recommendation. Then when the video is ready, then I would submit that. Or do I have
That's
to
a
have
good
the whole
question.
package done on the day that I'm submit?
Such a good question, Sister Muniba. MashaAllah. So is there like a save and complete later function in the
Right.
application? Yes, there is. There is a save and
Okay.
complete later function, save and submit later. Yeah, so on June 20th, you can open your application and you can fill out the parts that you have done. And then, but you know, yeah, do your best to
Okay.
get the materials sooner.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so much.
Good question, Muniba. You're welcome. All the questions are good. I mean.
Mubina. You said
Okay.
Muniba.
Thank you. Any remaining questions before we conclude for today?
No, Jazakallah, thank you so much for all the information. I'm very excited to share this with my team. And, for the students, for the sake of Allah, and I look forward to meeting on the 20th for the Zoom meeting.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful way to close out. And we ask Allah to accept the efforts from all of us, inshallah, no matter what hat or hijab or kufi we wear and what roles we play. We ask Allah to purify our intentions and to allow us to be used for good, inshallah, to continue to preserve and promote this deen, inshallah. And of course, this is an event that might also have individuals who don't adhere to the Islamic faith, and we appreciate all of our educators and want the best for all of our students. And we are so excited that ICNA Relief has this wonderful grant, the Empower Grant, to be able to enable and empower our educators to do just that. So Jazakumullah khairan to everybody for joining. We look forward to connecting with you all again, inshallah, on June 20th. And take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Assalam.
assalam.